Hey, my name is Jason, and I'm a land buyer that buys and sells land in the state of Texas. Now, over the years, I've been asked by many of my friends questions about how the process is to sell a piece of property that they own in the state of Texas. We're talking about vacant land here, usually without a house or improvements on it. And I decided to take some time to create a video series, a little bit of a tutorial per se, of how I would help a friend understand that process and answer some of these questions. So thank you for connecting today, and I hope that this is a help to you, and most of all, that you sell your property. So the very first question that I'm usually asked is, how do I determine the value of my land? Now, there are a couple things to keep in mind here. First of all, if you own a piece of property, even if it's vacant land with no developments or building, no improvements, you're going to get a property tax bill every year. You've got to pay the property taxes whether you use the land or not. Now, on that property tax bill, there is a county tax valuation. Now, in some counties in Texas, that valuation can be fairly accurate. In others, it might not. I have a piece of undeveloped land that I paid about $2,000 for, and I recently got a tax bill saying it's worth $20,000 from the county because they want to charge me extra taxes on it. But that is a place to start to at least understand possibly what the valuation is that the county gives it. Now, the second place I would go would be to look at the market value. Now, we're going to go to our friend Google in order to do this today. And something to keep in mind is if we want to see the market value in the state of Texas, it's actually a non-disclosure state, which means that sales of property are not in public record. So they don't actually have to put how much you paid for your property anywhere in public record. So what we can see, however, we can't necessarily see exactly what properties sold for, but we can see what they're for sale for. Now, there's the pro and con to that because there is some negotiation in real estate and properties don't always sell for what they're advertised for, but it will give us a starting point at least. So first thing in Google is I start at Zillow, and we're going to go Rusk County, Texas. It's a county in northeastern Texas near Tyler. So we're just going to go ahead and put in Zillow, Rusk County, Texas, and then follow the link that is pulled up in Google. And you can see there's some houses that popped up here immediately. So the first thing we're going to do is go here to houses or to the home type, and I'm just going to deselect houses. And then in more, and I'm going to select an acreage range. Let's say you have a 20-acre property. It's a piece of rural land out in the country and not necessarily near a city. Now, remember, this is a 20,000-foot view of finding property value. There are a lot more factors like the improvements and the access, and is it on a paved road or a dirt road, and so many other things. Is it close to town or farther out? But we're going to go ahead and start by selecting 10 to 50 acres. Now, the more the acreage, usually the less the price per acre. It's kind of a discount by quantity type thing. And then you're going to want to look in the general area of where your property is located. I also like to look here at the newest. I don't want to find something that's been sitting there for a year or two. Maybe they have it overpriced maybe. So here's a perfect example. 13 days on Zillow. It's $160,000, 40 acres. So it's almost exactly $4,000 per acre that they're asking. Now that is what they're asking. Maybe they come down $10,000 or $20,000 in the negotiation. It's hard to say. But remember, this is market price. This would be kind of the ideal price, right? Now, what are these other listings here? So these are agents, brokers, and these other listings are homeowners that are selling their property directly themselves. Okay, so here's some similar nearby results. A little bit cheaper property there per acre. But we can see the different properties that are for sale. Now, another place to look is Redfin, redfin.com. And you just type in, once again, Rusk County, Texas. And then don't select house or townhouse or any of that, just go to land. And then you can once again select the acreage range. And you can even sort those by price. You can see the same properties popped up. Looks like they've put it here too. Here's another one. It's a little bit higher per acre. So it's about $5,000 an acre for that one, just over. Now, if you have a small property, let's say 5 acres or less, or maybe it's just a small lot to build a house on or in the city, Zillow and Redfin are going to be very good resources. But if you have some acreage, like in the example I gave, 20 acres somewhere out in the country, then I want you to go to landwatch.com. That would be the next place I would go, landwatch.com. All right, and I just typed in landwatch.com, and it's going to bring up this site, and then I'm going to go into Rusk County, Texas, and it'll immediately bring up some filters. You can actually scroll down and choose all kinds of filters, like you can filter by the price or the parcel size. We already have 11 to 50 acres. We don't really want to compare our 20-acre property to 100 or 200-acre properties because chances are that their price per acre is going to be less because, like I said, there's a discount in quantity. And then I've selected everything that wouldn't include a house or a commercial property because I'm looking at trying to find unimproved land that would be similar to mine. And you can see different properties here. This one is here for sale. It's about $4,000 an acre, just under, about $3,900. There's another one about $4,000. So we start to get an idea of what this looks like. You can also go to another site, which is Lands of Texas, landsofTexas.com. And once again, just put in Rusk County and pick through your filters, and you can see here's one that's $4,400 per acre. And here's the same property I think we've seen on the other sites. And you can continue to scroll down, and what I generally would do is recommend finding 10 to 20 properties in the area and take a closer look at them, see what kind of features they have. Are they similar to your property? You want to be realistic about this. Land does not generally sell as quickly as houses. It takes a little longer to sell, so you want to be realistic in your price and kind of know what you have. You know, if you have a piece of property that's off-grid and doesn't have very good access, or doesn't have a road to it, or doesn't have power or any utilities, then you got to keep those things in mind, that it's going to affect the property value. And in my future videos in this tutorial, I'm going to talk a little bit about access and different things and how they affect property value. But this is a great way if you are trying to begin to determine the value of your land in Texas to start. So start here, and I hope to see you in my next videos in this series.